Ever wonder what it takes to go from, like, totally broke to a billionaire?
Hmm.
Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into the life of Milton Hershey. You know, the guy who built, like, a whole chocolate empire.
Right, right.
To figure out, like, what his secret recipe for success was.
Yeah.
We've got these excerpts from historia.hershey.txt.
Okay.
It's really interesting because it doesn't shy away from all of his failures, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
there are some crazy ones in there.
Oh, yeah. It really digs deep into those early challenges, which is fascinating.
Right.
It reveals how, like, each setback became like a stepping stone
Yeah.
on his path to becoming,
Yeah, a chocolate icon.
chocolate icon.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock all the way back to 1857.
Okay.
Picture rural Pennsylvania, which is like the opposite of,
Right.
all the chocolate riches he'll have later.
Totally.
Hershey's childhood was really tough.
Yeah.
Marked by poverty and even tragedy, like really heavy stuff.
Right.
When he was just 4 years old, his little sister, Serena,
Oh, wow.
died from scarlet fever.
Oh, gosh.
Can you imagine how that would impact a child?
I can't even imagine. It's just, that's such a formative experience. Yeah. It's a heartbreaking detail.
Yeah.
But it sheds light on his later philanthropic work,
Totally, yeah.
Witnessing such hardship at such a young age,
Yeah.
it probably instilled in him this deep empathy
Right, yeah.
for those less fortunate.
It's like they say, their experiences really shape who we become.
Totally.
So, skipping ahead a bit, Hershey's dad was always chasing these
Yeah.
get-rich-quick schemes,
Oh, interesting.
which probably influenced, young Milton's
Yeah.
own entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Although maybe in a more grounded way.
In a more grounded way, right, yeah. It's like, while his father chased pipe dreams,
Right.
Milton was drawn to, like, practical skills.
Right.
Things he could actually learn and master.
Yeah, yeah.
And that desire for tangible creation,
Right.
it really shines through
Totally.
in his love for candy making.
Speaking of candy making, his journey to becoming the chocolate king,
Right.
it didn't start out so sweet.
Right.
At 14, he gets this printing apprenticeship.
Okay.
And get this, he absolutely hated it.
Really?
Hated it.
How interesting. The text describes it as a complete mismatch for his personality.
Right.
Like, he had all this creative energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he found it tedious, so restrictive.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the polar opposite of the hands-on work
Totally.
that he craved.
It all came to a head, or I guess I should say, a clang, when he chucked his hat
Oh, no.
into the printing press.
He didn't.
I can't say I condone workplace sabotage.
Wow. But you have to admit, that's one way to quit a job you hate.
That's certainly one way to do it.
That's one way to do it.
I mean, talk about a rebellious streak.
Yeah.
This act of defiance,
Yeah.
while perhaps ill-advised,
Right.
it really underscores this fundamental difference
Right.
between Hershey and his father.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Milton wasn't content with just dreaming,
Yeah. Right. He wanted to build something.
He wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where his true passion really emerges.
Okay.
He gets a job at a confectionery shop,
Okay.
the Lancaster Caramel Company.
I've heard of them.
Now, it wasn't all sugar-coated from the start.
Of course not. No. I mean, imagine
Right.
a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Washing dishes, delivering sweets.
Yeah.
Not the most glamorous work.
Not glamorous at all.
But his mother, bless her soul,
Yeah.
she saw his potential.
She was like, this is it?
She understood that to succeed, Milton needed to learn this craft
Right.
from the ground up.
From the bottom.
In fact, she even paid the shop owner to train him.
What?
Talk about a supportive parent.
That's amazing. It's like she already knew
Right.
that he was going to be the chocolate king.
She must have known that she wasn't investing in just any candy maker.
Right.
He took to it like,
Yeah.
like a duck to water,
Yeah, he was a natural.
mastering everything from
Oh.
crafting the candies to like sourcing ingredients,
Wow, the whole 9 yards?
even setting prices.
Wow.
This is where he really honed those essential business skills.
That's incredible. And, this detail just cracks me up.
Oh, yeah.
His dad was not thrilled about it at all.
No.
No. He thought candy making was women's work.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that?
Can you believe that?
It just goes to show you the societal norms that Hershey was up against.
Absolutely. But thankfully, Hershey ignored his father
It's for him.
and he stuck to his passion.
That's it.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. His first 2 attempts at starting his own candy businesses?
Yeah.
Total flops.
Total flops. Okay, let's unpack those early failures because
let's do it.
they hold some really valuable lessons.
Oh, yeah.
For any aspiring entrepreneurs out there.
Totally.
His first venture was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Timed perfectly with the 1876 World's Fair.
Wow.
Talk about aiming high.
Aiming high.
He even used this really clever marketing tactic.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
So he had this air duct
Okay.
that he strategically placed
smart.
to waft the irresistible aroma of his caramels
Wow.
throughout the fairgrounds.
Genius.
It's genius.
I mean, even with his marketing savvy, the post-fair economic downturn hit him hard.
It's rough.
Sugar prices, they skyrocketed.
Yeah. Brutal.
Sales plummeted.
Oh, no.
And he was forced to declare bankruptcy.
It's a harsh reminder that even with the best laid plans, sometimes things happen that are out of our control.
Totally.
But here's the thing about Milton Hershey. He doesn't stay down for long.
Right.
Instead of giving up entirely, he packs his bags and he tries again.
Okay.
This time in the Big Apple.
Wow. New York City.
New York City.
In the 1880s.
That's a competitive market.
Talk about a competitive market.
Right.
But Hershey was undeterred.
Yeah.
He had learned some tough lessons in Philadelphia.
Right.
And he was determined to make it work this time.
So we've got Hershey, battle-tested but not broken.
Right.
Arriving in New York City, the land of opportunity. This time, he's armed with, like, a secret weapon.
Oh.
A new caramel recipe he picked up during a stint in Denver.
Oh, interesting.
Now, this wasn't just any caramel recipe, was it?
No, this Denver recipe was a game changer.
Really?
Totally. Instead of using paraffin, which was common practice back then, this recipe called for fresh milk, vanilla, and sugar.
Okay.
The result, a caramel that was smoother, creamier, and it had a longer shelf life.
Oh, I bet that was important.
So crucial.
Especially in a city like New York.
Absolutely.
It's like he stumbled upon, like, the actual recipe for success.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
But even with his newfound confidence, starting a business still takes money, right?
Always.
So he approaches his uncles for another loan. Third time's the charm. Or so you'd think.
You would think, right.
Right.
Not quite.
Not quite.
This is where we really see the lasting impact of those early failures.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
His uncles, they'd lost faith.
Oh, no.
They saw him as too much of a risk taker.
Oh, like his father.
Too much like his father. It's actually his Aunt Mattie who steps up.
Aunt Mattie to the rescue.
Right.
Yeah.
Providing the funds for his New York venture.
That's amazing.
You have to admire her belief in him, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when everyone else was doubting his abilities.
They were like, he's a lost cause.
Totally.
Another get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly.
Aunt Mattie, the unsung hero of this story.
Totally.
With her support.
Yeah.
And that, like, game-changing caramel recipe, Hershey launches his second candy company.
Okay.
What happens next? Well, for a while, it seems like he was finally, like, on the right path.
Oh, good.
You know, like on the path to success.
Yeah.
This new caramel, dubbed Hershey's Crystal A,
catchy,
was a hit with New Yorkers.
I bet.
Right? They loved it.
He was finally gaining some traction.
Yeah.
Proving that his skills, his determination could actually translate into a successful business.
It was all coming together.
It was.
But then the text says he makes this decision.
Oh, no.
That nearly derails everything. He decides to introduce cough drops.
Cough drops?
Cough drops.
Wait, what?
Talk about a curveball. Seems like he was doing so well with the caramel.
I know, right? It might seem counterintuitive.
It really does.
But remember, this is way before, you know, specialized cough drops were a thing.
Right. They didn't have Ricola back then.
Exactly.
Right.
Hershey saw a gap in the market.
He was like, I can do it all.
All right. But the problem was... he wasn't the only one with this idea.
Uh-oh.
He ended up going head-to-head with the already established Smith Brothers cough drops.
Smith Brothers. Those guys are untouchable.
Right. A brand that was not about to share its market share.
So he picked a fight with the wrong guys.
He did.
Oh, Hershey.
I know.
So imagine this. A cough drop showdown.
Oh, my gosh.
On the streets of New York City.
Wow.
No wonder his business took a hit.
It was a costly misstep.
It sounds like it.
By 1886, just a few years after arriving in New York with, you know, renewed hope.
So much hope,
he's facing bankruptcy.
Oh, Hershey.
Once again. Now, you might think this is where he gives up.
You would think, yeah.
Right.
Third time's the charm. It didn't work out.
Exactly. Throws in the towel on his candy-making dreams.
Also quits.
But instead of abandoning the confectionery world altogether, he returns to his roots.
He goes back to the caramels.
His beloved caramels. This, to me, speaks volumes about his character.
Okay.
He recognized what he was truly passionate about.
Yeah.
And he wasn't afraid to go back to the drawing board.
To regroup.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's back to Lancaster he goes, tail between his legs.
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay. He'd learned such invaluable lessons from his time in New York.
Right.
He tasted success. Yeah, he had it for a minute.
And he knew he had a winning formula with his caramels.
Okay, so this time he's got experience on his side.
Exactly. And this time, even with Aunt Mattie tapping out, he finds support from an unexpected source.
Okay.
His former accountant, William Lebeck.
Wow, okay. William Leb, I'll remember that name.
Right.
Wow.
With Lebeck's backing,
the
Lancaster Caramel Company is born.
And just like that, he's back in the game.
He's back.
But what's different this time around?
Well, this time, he approaches the business with this combination of experience, humility, and that unwavering belief in his product.
He's got that recipe?
He does. The text really emphasizes how hands-on he was during this period.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
He was out on the streets selling his caramels.
Wow. Ensuring the quality was top-notch.
Wow.
Using the freshest milk.
Wow.
It was that personal touch and dedication to quality that helped him rebuild his reputation.
Right.
And his business.
It's a classic tale of, like, the underdog who just won't quit.
It really is.
So the caramels are a hit.
Yeah.
But then what? How does he go from Caramel King to the chocolate legend we know today?
Well, it all starts with a fateful trip to the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1893. The Chicago World's Fair is in full swing.
Okay.
And amidst all the dazzling exhibits, Milton Hershey stumbles upon something that's going to change his life forever.
What is it?
A chocolate-making machine.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
It's kind of a big deal.
Like a scene right out of a movie.
This encounter with chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like a pivotal moment in Hershey's story.
Totally. And remember, at this point, chocolate was considered like a luxury.
Right. Only the wealthy?
Yeah. Something you could only get if you were really rich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Hershey, he's got a different idea.
What's he thinking?
He sees the potential for chocolate to be for everybody.
Okay.
He envisions this world where everyone, no matter how much money they've got, can enjoy chocolate.
Now, that's a vision I can get behind.
Right. And so what does he do?
What?
He buys the chocolate-making equipment.
He doesn't.
Right then and there.
Wow. Talk about seizing the moment.
He's not wasting any time.
No, he's not.
This is where, like, his entrepreneurial instincts really take center stage. He starts experimenting right away.
Okay.
Trying to unlock the secret to this delicious but affordable chocolate.
Right, because that was the thing back then.
Yeah.
It was either delicious or affordable.
Exactly.
Not both.
He even launches the Hershey Chocolate Company.
Really?
It's like a branch.
Oh, so he's keeping the caramels going too?
Of his already successful caramel business.
Wow, so he's juggling two things at once.
He's got caramels flying off the shelves, this growing chocolate business.
It's like he's won the lottery twice.
I know, right? But then he makes a decision that seems kind of bonkers.
Okay, what is it?
He decides to sell the caramel business.
What?
I know, right? Everyone's probably telling him.
Like, are you sure about this?
Stick with what you know.
Yeah. You're the caramel king.
Right. But Hershey, he senses like a shift in the market. The text mentions how European chocolate sales were starting to outpace his caramel business.
Interesting. So he's looking at the bigger picture.
He's got a hunch, right?
Yeah.
He realizes that to really dominate the world of sweets, he's got to go all in on chocolate.
Wow. It's a gamble.
It is. So he makes this ultimate gamble.
Okay.
He sells the Lancaster Caramel Company in 1900.
For how much?
For a cool $1 million.
$1 million back then. That's like...
I can't even imagine.
I know, that's like winning the lottery.
I know, right? What drove him to make such a risky move?
I think it boils down to his vision.
Right, like that chocolate-making machine at the World's Fair.
That's what did it.
Lit a fire.
It's like he knew deep down.
Yeah.
Chocolate was the future.
It wasn't just about the money for him.
Yeah.
It was about sharing this amazing treat with the world.
It was bigger than just him.
Exactly. Now, every good mission needs a headquarters, right?
Oh.
He could have set up shop anywhere.
Right, like New York City or Chicago.
Exactly. But instead, he buys this massive plot of land.
Where?
In the middle of rural Pennsylvania.
Really?
He's not just building a factory.
What is he doing?
He's creating a town.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
The town that chocolate built.
Wow, a town built on chocolate dreams.
It's incredible. He wanted to create a community where his workers could thrive.
That's amazing. So he's thinking about more than just the bottom line.
Absolutely. He knew that happy workers meant a successful business.
Right.
But let's not forget about the star of this show.
The chocolate.
The chocolate Hershey's dream was to create this milk chocolate that was delicious.
Obviously.
But also affordable and could last.
Right. It couldn't just melt in your pocket.
Exactly. But perfecting that formula turned out to be a real challenge.
Really?
You think you would have nailed it on the first try?
Right after the caramels, you'd think so?
Right.
Well, the text highlights all the hours.
Yeah.
And like the setbacks that he faced trying to get that recipe just right.
It's going to be tough.
I know. And he was determined to use fresh milk.
Right. Like his caramels.
Exactly. But the technology just wasn't there.
To do it on a large scale.
Exactly.
So he hit a wall.
So what happened?
Well, that's where a stroke of luck or maybe ingenuity comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
This is where we meet John Schmalbach.
John Schmalbach.
He was a former employee
at
Hershey's caramel factory. And the story goes that Schmalbach accidentally discovered a way to heat and condense milk without scorching it.
So it wouldn't taste burnt.
Exactly. It was a total accident.
Wow.
But a game changer.
That's often how these things happen.
I know, right? So how did this accidental discovery change everything?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, this breakthrough.
Yeah.
It allowed Hershey to create the smooth, creamy texture that we all know and love today.
That's huge.
And get this, it also made the chocolate last longer.
Oh, that's important for shipping.
Huge. For shipping, a longer shelf life meant he could keep costs down.
Which meant?
He could keep the price low.
Smart man.
So that everyone could afford it.
Brilliant. And thus, the nickel chocolate bar was born.
Pure genius.
Right. It's amazing how such a simple idea changed everything about the way we experience chocolate.
It's true. By 1906, just a few years after perfecting his recipe, the Hershey Chocolate Company was a massive success.
How massive are we talking?
Over $1 million in sales.
Wow.
But Hershey, he wasn't done innovating.
What else did he do?
Remember how he was always coming up with new caramel creations?
Right. Always experimenting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that same spirit led to some of the most iconic chocolate treats we know and love today.
Like what?
I'm talking about the Hershey's Kiss.
The Kiss.
Introduced in 1907.
Classic.
And the Hershey's Bar with almonds.
With almonds, my favorite.
Which followed close behind in 1908.
They're both so good.
I know, right? They weren't just new products. They were instant classics.
They really were.
Hershey cemented his place in confectionery history.
Wow, what a legacy.
But his legacy extends far beyond chocolate bars and clever marketing.
Really? Tell me more.
This text, it really highlights his philanthropic spirit.
Okay.
Which makes sense, given his own tough upbringing.
That makes sense.
He and his wife, Catherine, they weren't able to have kids of their own.
Oh, wow.
So they decided to use their resources to help those in need.
That's amazing.
Especially underprivileged children.
That's incredible.
The Hershey Industrial School, which he founded in 1909, became a haven for orphaned boys.
Wow, what a gift.
It provided them with shelter education and vocational training.
Wow, so he was giving them the tools to build a better future for themselves.
Exactly. Even after achieving such incredible success, he never forgot where he came from.
That's so important.
And he dedicated himself to giving back.
And that commitment to giving back, it didn't waver. Even in the face of personal tragedies. He lost his wife, Catherine, in 1915.
Oh, wow.
And his mother just a few years later.
Oh, no.
It's a reminder that life is full of ups and downs.
It is.
But true success lies in using those experiences to make a positive impact.
It's about leaving the world a better place.
Exactly.
Milton Hershey's story is a testament to the power of resilience.
It really is.
Innovation and unwavering belief.
He never gave up.
Never gave up. He went from a struggling apprentice to the chocolate king.
Wow.
And a renowned philanthropist.
Quite a journey.
It's an inspiration to us all.
It really is.
It reminds us that even amidst setbacks and failures, the pursuit of a dream especially one that aims to bring a little sweetness into the world, can lead to extraordinary things.
Absolutely.
So next time you unwrap a Hershey's Kiss or savor that classic milk chocolate bar, take a moment to remember the man behind the empire.
The man who changed the world.
Who knew chocolate could be so inspiring.
Until next time.
Happy listening.